What's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. Just waking up in the afternoon trying to thank God. No, I'm tired. Book entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father. Amazon Kindle Create Space. Get it if you need it. Prisons, housing, and hospitals. They had a war on drugs, so they needed to build prisons. Student loan debt, divorce, separation of families, family court system, this single anti-family American life is increases with the need for apartments, single family homes and stuff like that, right? And and hospitals with the obesity and the sickness going on and on and on. Now, I don't know where you live at, but I'm just speaking from where I live at and what I see from where I'm at right now. Um, America has this habit of creating negativity for profit. You know, destroying things for profit. Kind of the same business model of war is profitable. You're trying to figure out for who, because people dying, their families get split up. But big business makes a lot of money, right? So this is where we're going with this. I see, like I said before, with the war on drugs, which is bullshit. Now the opioid, the heroin, meth is hitting white people. Now it's a problem. Now it's something that you need to have, it's a problem in the sense of it needs to be fixed. People need help. So because people need help, they got more clinics and hospitals and rehab centers, right? Yeah, you shouldn't go to jail now. Okay. But these dealers are getting off left and right, just like these rapists. And I think part of the increase that we see the rise in police misconduct and brutality and murder is the fact that you can't incarcerate as many people as you used to, because even all the people that fit the description not carrying anything illegal, they're not doing shit illegal. So now you're just pissed, and the people that you should be arresting kind of look like you, so you're lenient on that. So the problem is, the prisons are not what they used to be. Thus, you know, they got to go all the way to, and like that extreme case of where if kids get in a fight in grade school, they can be charged with a felony. So if they can be charged with a felony, that means at some point they can be sentenced and put in prison, right? For cheap slave labor, because that's what prison really does. It's a slave labor camp, But we all know that's only going to be for black kids, maybe Hispanic kids. You know, reach a little bit for Asian kids, but white kids get in fights all the time. They're not gonna charge white kids with a felony. It's not gonna do it. So that's the prison part of it. Housing. With all of this independent mindset, independent nature, I don't need nobody. You grown. Get out in the world and get your own. Anti-family mindset. You have a lot of people going out into the world and wanting to go experience the world. I want to go on vacations. I want to go on trips. I want to go to games. I want to entertain myself thoroughly before I create a family, which in some ways makes sense. But honestly, I think it's more practical to find yourself before you decide to make a family instead of just going places, taking pictures, and say you've been here, you've done that, you've eaten here, you took a picture on a mountaintop type shit. Because you can go all over the world and still not find your damn self, but you got a shitload of pictures. It doesn't make sense to me, but that's just me. But I say that to say this. You're increasingly seeing more people who come from broken families, who are struggling financially because of the lack of family structure. People in some ways, people are being roommates at older ages because of finances. You know, relationships, though the male-female relationships may break up, you can still see more apartment complexes popping up left and right. You know, not as many subdivisions though, not as many homes being built as apartment complexes, which should tell you something. People can't afford to stay in homes, even though at this particular point, probably leasing a home is probably just as expensive as renting an apartment. That's crazy, but that's true. You know, and that's a problem. Taxes fluctuating, tax rates slowly going up. Mind you, like I said, the educated people in the world, their student loans is killing them, and that's actually getting taxed on to your home loan dynamic when you try to apply to get a home. So now you're having a problem. Now you're having a big problem because now you can't. They price you trying to get the American dream, the quote unquote American way, has put you in a predicament where you can't even afford to have, the home and the white picket fence and the dog and the two kids, right? Because they got your ass on the college part. So now you're stuck with housing. And now you don't have the space to help raise a family. So in some ways you're quarantined from getting bigger. Because you might have a 1 bedroom apartment. It's not conducive to having kids, is it? You might have a 2 bedroom apartment with a roommate. Or you might have a 2 bedroom apartment with a child. You start to realize, damn, can't do shit. And this is expensive because these kids are not roommates, they're kids. So it's you start to see the prices of everything, and not just that, the housing with the utility bills always rising, and the actuaries always making it mathematically impossible to get ahead because everything, the cost of living keeps rising while the wages don't, which creates stress, which I'm leading to the hospitals part. People don't have enough time. People don't make enough time to eat properly, to work out properly, because now you're in the rat race so much that you're exhausting yourself. So over time, you get increasingly sicker because you live in the rat race, live fast paced, fast life, fast food. Everything that's not good for you, you constantly taking in. The weight is packing on. You don't have the time to go work out because you don't necessarily have a family or a support system. So, and you might be taking care of kids, or you just might be trying to party all the time, party all the time, party all the time. And you drink too much. So now you find yourself in that scenario. Some people want to partake on weekend weed, and other, and that is the gateway drug, right? So then you got other people taking harder shit, which leads to the increased rate of old people dying, which the Caucasian death rate is trumping its birth rate. So you need more and more hospitals that are trying to keep people alive. That's one thing. You got the overdoses trying to keep people alive. That's another thing. You got the obesity and the prescriptions and numerous prescriptions and pharmaceuticals making money. That's another thing. And also you got it's a big business. So if they keep building hospitals, guess what? They keep making money. And nobody's really getting healed because prescription A leads to prescription B leads to prescription C, which leads to your ass gonna be broke. But the hospital is gonna be booming. That's why nursing and doctors is just becoming more and more increasingly high paying occupation. So at the end of the day, when I look around and I see this shit, and I'm like, more crime, more fractured families, more unhealthy people. Because as black people, they just look, there was stress back in the day, but even with stress and Jim Crow and the United Families and less technology, people were actually in better shape. People didn't want to go to the doctor because doctors would sabotage them. Now doctors kind of flip that and they don't sabotage your ass. They keep you alive and work you to death to pay them. You know, just like student loans got you working for the rest of your life, hospitals on the same business model. That's just what I see. I'm out.